The Prime Minister is in office but not in power. Everyone is trying to pretend it's all right. It's not all right. In the past 48 hours, nearly 100 Labour MPs have called for the Prime Minister to resign. 4 ministers have quit. It is clear his authority has gone and that he will not be able to deliver what little there is in this King's Speech. This is a government less than 2 years in office, which has already run out of ideas and run out of road. Their manifesto was just a set of misleading promises. They promised no new taxes on working people. Fail. They promised to crack down on illegal immigration. Fail. They promised to tread more lightly on people's lives. Epic fail. I know they don't want to hear it. Look at them. They are so arrogant. They want to lead our country. They can't even lead a coup. It is so obvious, Mr. Speaker, that they cannot handle being in government. They cannot handle it. They hate the responsibility. They hate having to take tough decisions. They prefer scratching the itches that they had in opposition. Giving inflation-busting pay rises to the unions, 28% for the doctors who are still striking. Nearly 2 years, they are still striking. Handing out more benefits to the only people who will still vote for them because Labour don't understand that poverty isn't created by a lack of benefits, it's created by a failing economy.
The Speaker does not have the power to police the accuracy of members' contributions. Unfortunately, it is incumbent on all members to be accurate in what they say in this House and to correct any mistakes as soon as possible. All members, including ministers, should take the responsibility in this House seriously. I remind ministers that the government's own ministerial code make clear that important policy announcements should be made in the first instance in this House when sitting, and some people seem to have short memories.
The United Kingdom is carrying one of the highest level of borrowings in the Western world. National debt is a staggering £2.9 trillion, equivalent to 93.8% of our entire GDP and equivalent to £102,000 per household. Even more concerning, we are expected to spend, wait for it, £111 billion on debt interest alone in servicing that debt. If this was a government department, it would be the third largest. We are heavily reliant on international markets, and our national balance sheet is highly leveraged. That leaves our economy dangerously exposed to external shocks, such as the war in Iran and the Ukraine conflict. As a result, our borrowing premium on that debt is one of the highest in the OECD. We're paying more in debt interest than Greece is today. On that note, I note that one of the Labour leadership candidates does not have a clue how the bond market functioning our enormous debt actually works.
We have heard from Britain's most unpopular, possibly the worst Prime Minister ever. After just 22 months, Madam Deputy Speaker, all we have had is failure, incompetence and negligence. And we have a programme of government in this King's Speech that in a sense represents everything that this Prime Minister currently that we suffer under represents. Process and regulation. Process and regulation. And the thing about that is that that just drives up costs. And there is nothing that I can see in this programme of government that will actually reduce bills, will reduce the cost of living. I'll come back to you, my good sir. That will reduce the cost of living and that will drive up growth, drive up prosperity and drive up the quantity of jobs.
I'm sad to say that Labour have been absolutely cynical today. I would humbly remind the Secretary of State that when we voted on the related remedial order back on the 21st of January, almost a third of the Labour Parliamentary Party abstained. famously including the Armed Forces Minister himself, who, as we all know, is otherwise occupied today, and even the current Prime Minister abstained. He blew the whistle and sent his troops over the top to vote for this benighted bill that he didn't have the courage to vote for himself. Which brings me to encapsulate exactly what's going on today. While this government prepares to tear itself to pieces over a mixture of post-electoral fear and vaunted ambition, what is the Labour Party's absolute priority this morning? It is to advance legislation to facilitate the prosecution of brave Northern Ireland veterans, many of whom gave their lives to uphold the rule of law in Northern Ireland. In essence, to defend all of this around us today. That sums the Labour Party up. They've clearly chosen today as a not-so-good day to bury bad news, and the very bad news is, despite all their protestations to the contrary, they would rather help Sinn Féin chase those who fought for their country. The public will see this for what it is, not a complex legal treatise. It is a disgrace.
While the government noted that the raising of the terror threat level was not solely a consequence of the attack in Golders Green, we can all see how this community has been targeted. Our thoughts remain with the victims and their families. We have to speak honestly about what's going on. We have to call out hate when we see it. Jewish people in Britain are 12 times more likely to be a victim of hate crime than any other group. We cannot allow this to go on. This requires not just warm words, but robust action. 75% of MI5's terrorism caseload relates to Islamist extremism, and 94% of terrorist murders in the last 25 years have been perpetrated by Islamist extremists. Yet we've seen a decrease in prevent referrals relating to Islamist extremism, and only 10% of the current prevent caseload relates to Islamist extremism.
I respect the Secretary of State. He's talked at some length about what's wrong with the welfare system, but the fact is there is no welfare bill in the King's speech. Exactly. I reckon he is stuck between a rock and a hard place. He knows the benefits bill is out of control. Yeah. He knows the public are sick of seeing their taxes go on ever higher welfare handouts. He even knows how the savings could be made, because I've told him. But he also knows, they're laughing, but they're the problem. Because he also knows the MPs behind him will have none of it. And with the Prime Minister clinging on by a thread, no wonder there was no welfare bill in the King's speech. But here's the problem. Failure to grip welfare puts them dangerously out of touch with people out there. Yeah. The people he and I and all of us are here to serve. Yeah. Madam Deputy Speaker, let me read from an email I received recently from a constituent. I'll call her Sandra. She says, I am writing to you with utter frustration. We work so hard, and for what? What is the point of working? Please tell me. To watch everyone else do nothing and get paid more than you? I've done the benefit calculation online, and I'd be better off quitting my job. I'll be better off getting universal credit. How is that normal or fair? That's right. And she is far from alone. I've heard that feeling expressed time and again since I've been Shadow Secretary of State, on the doorsteps, in the pub, in the supermarket, on the train, and all over social media. Beyond Westminster, people are despairing. Family breadwinners are losing their jobs, homes are being sold to pay the bills, and young people are losing hope. Millions have drifted out of work. For many, claiming benefits simply makes more sense. And for those who are working, each month they're seeing their earnings disappearing in higher taxes and higher bills with nothing left over. No wonder they're fed up. People doing the right thing, paying for people who've opted out, and what is Labour doing about it? Absolutely nothing. They're making a big mistake, because the bald fact is Alarm Clock Britain is sick of paying out for Benefit Street.